After playing 100 games of Maestra, I have now appointed myself an expert on what are the best hero cards to pick in Standard. I'm going to explain. I'm going to tier them one by one. They're in no particular order, just the way I uploaded them. I'm going to start with Anduin. Kind of a classic hero. 8 mana, kills anything that is 5 or more attack, and has a half decent hero power. The hero power doesn't matter in Standard. With these heroes, you don't really want to press the hero power that much unless it's going to produce something good. So forget about Anduin's hero power here, unfortunately. We're basically looking at his effect and cost. 8 mana is on the more expensive side. Situationally, pretty good. If you're playing against like a big Taunt Druid or maybe a Razzler Dazzler, this could be an okay pick if your other options aren't the best. So I'm going to put, for that reason, Mr. Anduin goes in the B tier. The next card is another Priest hero card, Israela. I think that's how you say it. Another 8 mana card on the higher end. It triggers every friendly death rattle minion that's died. This deck doesn't have any death rattles, so the battle cry is bad, the mana is bad, and the hero power is not great. 2 mana to heal 5 or deal 5. This goes in the D section. Moving on to a Druid hero card now. One of the Death Knight cards. The battle cry, get 2 poison spiders or 2 taunts. Not particularly useful. You would probably pick this dude for the hero power. If you're in a pinch and you're playing against aggro and don't have great choices, this guy could be okay. He's slightly less useful than Anduin, even though he's cheaper. Mainly because you typically just never you don't have enough mana to press the hero power, typically. That's why your hero power needs to do something really good as a one-time effect, which we'll get into later. So that puts our boy in the C tier. Warlock Death Knight. Immediately 10 mana is bad. 10 mana has to be an amazing effect. And I'm going to explain why this is going straight into the D tier, is because you can't pick Warlock cards. It has to be a very special circumstance for you to pick a Warlock card, and that is because it won't replay health drinks from tests because you're a Warlock, and you want to replay health drinks from tests to survive and get a bit of life back up. Most Warlock cards, there's only 2 Warlock cards, but this one's the worst one, and it goes straight into D for that reason. The original Mage Reno card, Battle Cry, make all minions disappear. So not as good as obviously the new Reno. Doesn't have a Highlander requirement. It is a mage card. Its hero power will randomly cast a spell at the start of your turn. So see that as a downside or an upside, wherever you want to look at it. The mana cost is pretty bad, as 10 mana is difficult to play even with mana cheat. But like Anduin, in a pinch, if there's a big board being produced that you need to remove immediately, you can play this. And for that reason, I think Battlecry overrides the uselessness of the hero power. So we're going to put Reno in the B tier. This is a 7 mana Battlecry. Repeat a spell from each spell school that you've cast. You have a shadow spell. We've got Shadow Step, Breakdance, and we've got a Fel spell. So we do replay Health Drink and a Shadow Step. So you can step one of the mini pirates back with this. The hero power is not bad. It does scale into the late game. It's not quite an A tier card, but it's something that you can pick if your other 2 options aren't one of the higher grade cards. Again, situational, but a solid hero card nonetheless. This goes in the B tier. As I said before, you want to avoid picking Warlock cards because Warlock will not allow you to replay Health Drink when you play tests. The only exception being, and this is the only one exception, if you're playing against a Demon Hunter with pirates, or a pirate aggro Demon Hunter, the games don't go long enough. All you have to do is clear their board very quickly, which puts this in a very situational spot. You would only ever pick this card against that particular deck, because it's unlikely that you're even going to get to the point where you're going to replay tests. So put this in the C tier along with our Death Knight Druid card. It would be higher if you could replay health drinks, but alas, you cannot. Rexar, probably like most people's favorite Death Knight card. My favorite Death Knight card. Unfortunately, you're not going to like this. He's not good in standard. You have no time to press the hero power card to make a Zombeast. And if you do make a Zombeast, I can tell you now, they're going to be very bad Zombeasts. They're not going to be good Zombeasts. The usefulness of Rex is his 2 damage AoE to all enemy minions, because this can be paired up with the likes of, say, Tarslick to deal 4 damage, and he's cheap. Because he's cheap, and his Battlecry is particularly useful, but not like, doesn't clear every board. Its hero power is pretty weak. He actually goes within the C tier. Got another Hunter hero card. It's got Tavish. Battlecry, pick 2 improved secrets. He's cheap. The improved secrets are always pretty annoying. And his hero power is not bad if you want to push a little bit of damage. Once you play test, you get a wide board. For that reason, I'm going to put Mr. Tavish in the B tier. Valera the Death Knight. Now, this is a card you don't see often because it means you have to have already transformed into another class and then replayed Maestra and then find this card. This card, you won't really see this card, but it does give you 1 turn of stealth, and it does give you extra card value, acting potentially like an extra Sonya after you've played your Tespionage. Because you don't see this often and you don't play this often, it's hard to rate a card like Valera. I'm going to put this in as a B tier. Stalls 1 turn, and then gives you value later on. It is expensive, but you're unlikely to see it too often. Frost Lich Jaina, a classic control card back when this was released. It did see some play. Battlecry, summon a Water Ellie, and your elementals for the rest of the game have lifesteal. The hero power, when you ping and kill a target, you get a Water Ellie. Very good. This is going in the A tier. Even though it's expensive, it's very good against a large number of decks, particularly ones that have weapons. Also gives you great sustainability if you're playing a control matchup, like against the Death Knight. You can sustain, ping, and then gain a bunch of health. It's great against Odin Warrior because they have to deal with every single elemental because you can freeze the face. Great against Weapon Rogue, for example. Any deck that wants to attack. Death Knights to want to do it sometimes with the freeze weapon. This is great sustainability card, and because there's a lot of control matchups, I'm going to put this in the A tier. Not quite S, but A tier. Scabs, again, falls under the same problem as Valera. You have to change into another hero first before you can play this. Its Battlecry is good. It gives you basically a Vanish and puts two stealth minions on board. And the hero power is pretty good because it reduces mana by 2. So this is going to go again into the B tier. If you can get this card, it's pretty solid one you can pick up. It just means that when you do play a rogue card, your test will no longer replay minions. So the downside of that is, by the time you play this, I'm guessing your test is already dead. Your test is not always going to survive. Some games test just cast Espionage a couple of times and then dies. And then you're stuck being an Espionage rogue, essentially, without the test. In that case, these cards are okay to pick up. This is our first Shaman God, Hagatha. 8 mana, Battlecry, deal 3 damage to all minions, including your own. Whenever you play a minion, you get a random Shaman spell. Typically, this is bad because your hand's already going to be really full and you don't want to fill it up anymore. The 3 damage AoE is too expensive for 8 mana. Again, it's not really a card that's going to clear a lot of boards, especially at that mana cost. I'm going to put this as low as D tier because it fills up the hand too much and it's too expensive. Another Shaman card, this is Brucan. Battlecry, call upon 2 elements. These are pretty good. It's heal all friendly characters for 6, get 2 free taunts, deal 6 damage to the enemy hero. and deal 2 damage to the board, I believe it is, to the enemy minions. It's got good versatility, and it's just a pretty solid card. It's one of the hero powers that has high impact. So this goes in the B tier. Paladin. Paladin's got 2, I believe. First is the Death Knight Uther. This is an OTK deck in Wild. Part of an OTK deck in Wild. He's 9 mana. You get a lifesteal weapon with 5 attack, 3 durability. So pretty good sustainability straight away when you play this, because you're getting 5 armor and you're getting 5 HP. Clearing something maybe, dealing a bit of damage. The hero power is one of the most unique hero powers. You summon a horseman, and once you summon all 4 horsemen, the game ends. You win. I've never been able to summon all 4 horsemen in standard. So hero power, not great. Sustainability, okay. Expensive, yes. Wouldn't pick this if I had a better choice. Going into the C tier. Garrosh, D tier. Guff. This is one of our first S tier cards. I'm just going to put Guff straight up there. 5 mana, the cheapest hero card you can get. One of the best hero powers, which is basically gain a empty mana crystal, so you can shoot up to 20 mana, making the late game. You're better than a warrior, you're better than a druid with new heights. You're gaining 5 armor, you turn into another hero on 5 mana. Extremely good. If you see Guff, you probably want to pick Guff. Also, to mention, if you do happen to change into another hero, your mana crystals will still be capped at 20. So you can change into another class and still have 20 mana, which is brilliant. Lifeforge, Corel, another S tier hero card. This lets you take half damage whilst you have the weapon equipped. So it's 8 mana, 5 armor. You get a special weapon, which halves all damage coming into the hero. And the hero power is not so good. The hero power basically buffs a card by plus 4/4 stats. It can be okay later on in the game to tap that, and then you get like a bigger minion later on. But this is strictly an S tier because there's a lot of combo. Well, there's a good chunk of combo decks in standard, and this puts a stop to all of them. So you got Odin, puts a stop to that deck, puts a stop to the likes of Sif Mage, for example, or Pip Paladin. This will basically, they're not going to be able to deal 60 damage to you and then some. One note is if you have played Quick Pick, which is in this deck, it will overwrite the weapon when you play Tess. So sometimes if you're playing against the combo deck, you kind of want to avoid playing Tess for as long as possible. Onto, they're all grouped together. This is what I would consider another S tier hero card. Alaka, the Windlord. This was part of the Caverns of Time expansion, so a lot of people might not have seen this because this wasn't in standard rotation. What does he do? He draws a charge, divine shield, taunt, and Wind Fury minion from the deck. Basically Alaka. He draws Alaka or anything resembling Alaka. This deck contains none of those keywords, so his battle cry does nothing. The reason he is so good is because his hero power. This is a 2 mana hero power that gives you 2 attack and Wind Fury and Divine Shield. So again, against decks like Odin Warrior in particular, or Weapon Rogue in particular, that can't really deal 1 point of damage to your face, the Divine Shield could actually save your life against those decks. And when you do play Espionage, there is a very good chance that you're going to get some synergistic card that will help you kill your opponent with the hero power, because you basically have inbuilt Wind Fury. Dr. Boom! This is a unique one because it's 7 mana but gives you 7 armor, and he has a bunch of different hero powers. Similar to kind of similar to Reno, a bunch of different hero powers. His battle cry gives all mechs rush for the rest of the game. This deck contains no mechs, but you can generate them, and it can be slightly useful. I'm going to actually put this in... This is a bit of a weird one. He's good against some combo decks because you have a high chance of gaining lots of armor. You immediately get 7 armor, and you can gain another 7 with the hero power. He has some useful little pings with the hero power as well. I'm tempted to put this in B, but because he has no immediate effect and he's only specifically good against one type of deck, I'm going to plop him in the C tier for Boom. There are better options above him that you could pick. For all, the Dark Seer, is he called? This one's going to shock you. I'm going to just put this straight where I think it goes, in the A tier. And this is only because of two factors. The way you play the game with For All is you play the Sandbox Pirate, the big version of it, and then do something. Then next turn you have the mini. You mini Maestra, that's 3 mana. You Shadow Step the mini Pirate, and then you replay the mini Pirate for 0, and then you play For All. For All evolves Maestra, the mini Pirate, and wherever else you've got on board, and immediately puts you in a position where you can start playing Tess. For that reason, For All is actually a very good pick. Similar to Guff, you can play him on 5 or whatever. And he has a slight upside when he's played. Sometimes you will press the hero power, sometimes, and it is quite fun. So he's got that little bit of a fun factor in there. So you probably want to prioritize picking For All for speed, which is not bad. We got Rokara, another warrior hero card, 7 mana, so in the middle of the cost, which is good. You get 10 armor with this, and you get a weapon. The weapon, when you attack a minion, it slams the minion into your opponent's face, dealing the minion's damage. It's pretty useful. The 10 armor puts it just slightly above Dr. Boom for those combo decks. The weapon is good damage. There's a lot of big minions floating around in standard, and the hero power is also pretty good. Hero power is 2 mana. If you glory kill or honorable kill, whatever, glory kill. If you honorable kill a minion, you get 4 armor. So pretty sustainable, middle of the road, solid card to pick up. The only Demon Hunter hero card I think that exists, 6 mana, Battle Cry, gain 5 armor as they all do. Summon 2 demons with Rush, which upgrade for every time you've attacked. This is good in Rogue because you're going to hero power and attack a few times. On average, I think the demons are around 3 or 4 attack by the time you play this card. It's cheap. Its hero power is actually really good with this deck. What happens is you play Tess, and Tess typically gives you a full board. If any of those minions survive on the full board, then you'll likely have lethal or close to lethal, because you can attack, hero power, attack, hero power, attack, hero power. The hero power, I should explain, is it's 1 mana, gain 2 attack. Every time a minion attacks, you can repress the hero power. So for every minion attack, you've got 2 extra damage. And he, like I say, for that reason, I'm going to put him in the A list for the cheapness and the usefulness of the hero power, and he's got good board clear potential. Last but not least, it's Zul'jin. Zul'jin is in a weird position. It replays every spell that you've played for that match. He's pretty good to play if you've already played 2 copies or 1 copy of Espionage. If you haven't played Espionage yet, he may deck you out the game, because he will repeat like Dubious Purchase, any card draw that you've played. He will clear the board pretty successfully. For that reason, pretty good. He's expensive, which is a big downside to Zul'jin. So let's weigh it up. He's expensive. His hero power is not great. His hero power is deal 2 damage. But he's likely to clear the board and refill your deck with Espionages if you've played enough of them. If you've played like 1 or 2. I don't know. Guaranteed board clear, 5 armor, replay everything. Yeah, okay. I'm gonna put him in the B. It's better picks than him. He can go wrong, but he is pretty fun. So that concludes my Maestra tier list. I've made this video because I've just put out like 4 Maestra videos with this deck, and if you want to play this, this is the definitive what heroes to pick. There you go. I hope you enjoyed that. See you later.